Taoiseach, Denise Whitmore was absolutely devastated when she learned at a routine scan in November 2024 that her baby's brain had not developed and the condition was fatal. After a lot of consideration, Denise and her husband Mark made the heartbreaking decision to terminate the pregnancy. But because doctors could not be absolutely certain that her baby would die within 28 days, as required by current legislation, Denise was forced to travel to the UK for treatment. Taoiseach, to say it was not an easy journey is an understatement. Denise was 6 months pregnant and was bleeding from an additional complication of a low-lying placenta. On the day they were due to travel, their ferry to Holyhead was cancelled. This meant travelling to Pembroke instead, followed by a 5-hour car journey to Liverpool. Once they were at hospital, doctors stopped the baby's heart and Denise prepared to give birth. But she began to hemorrhage. She lost 5 units of blood, causing her body to go into shock. Doctors were forced to do an emergency C-section. They had to warn Denise in advance that they may need to do a hysterectomy to stop the bleeding. When Ada was born, Denise and Mark spent some time with their daughter in the hospital. Taoiseach, as if all of this wasn't hard enough, they then had to think about the legality of getting home. A consultant in Liverpool warned them to put Ada's body in the boot of their car and smuggle her back to Ireland. But Taoiseach, they could not bring themselves to do that. So when they got to the ferry, Mark declared that they were bringing their daughter home. And they were gripped by fear that they might be arrested. Taoiseach, this legislation is inhumane. If it weren't for a kind worker at the ferry terminal allowing them to travel, they wouldn't have been able to bring Ada home to meet her 3-year-old brother and the rest of her family. Ceann Comhairle, Denise's trauma didn't end there. Despite having major surgery in the UK, there was zero follow-up care for her in Ireland. Even when she presented to a bereavement midwife to get counselling, she was told it wasn't available. Denise and her family were on their own. Taoiseach, every year, 240 women have to travel to the UK to access abortion care. Each one with their own story of grief, of trauma, of sheer horror at what they're forced to go through. It is a complete and utter disgrace. An expert report recommending clarity on the provision of care in cases of fetal abnormality and the end of criminalisation of doctors was published in April 2023. For 3 years now, the government has ignored these recommendations, and the result is hundreds and hundreds of women like Denise forced to travel for care. Taoiseach, my question is simple. Is the government going to continue to ignore these women and make them suffer?
Taoiseach, please.
The legislation came as a result of the constitutional referendum we had in respect of this issue a number of years ago. And the legislation was consistent with commitments that were given in the debate to the Irish people prior to the repeal of the 8th Amendment. And it was a contested referendum, and there were arguments on both sides of that referendum and various arguments being put forward. And various commitments were given in respect of how subsequent legislation would be formulated and what it would contain. And in many respects, one of the key motivations, I think, for a lot of people who voted yes to to removing the 8th was actually the experience of women who had been through fetal abnormality. I would have met quite a number of women myself, and who would have told me the harrowing journeys that they made to the United Kingdom and back. And certainly in my own personal situation, I found it a very powerful motivating factor in terms of a proper humane response to situations such as this. And again, there was a lot of contested debate around that too, and hence what has transpired in terms of the Termination of Pregnancy Act of 2018, and in particular the section in terms of the provision for 28 days before or within that 28 days of birth. And there has been issues out of that as a result of both the referendum and the Act itself. I do not understand why bereavement counselling was not made available. It should be made available. And there shouldn't be any excuse for the absence of bereavement counselling in situations such as this. And I will pursue that with the Minister and with the Department as to what transpired there. Now, in terms of the wider issue, the Act itself, as I said, is consistent with the debate and commitments that were given, and Section 11 of the Act in particular puts in that provision.
Deputy Cairns to respond.
Sorry, I just would say to you that this will be reviewed by the Government. I want to thank Denise Whitmore for speaking out, because we do need to hear her voice.
Thank you, Taoiseach.
And indeed the voice of women in situations like this.
Deputy Cairns.
Taoiseach, ultimately, when we voted on repeal, we voted to take women's health care out of the Constitution and to put it into the hands of doctors and into the hands of the people in this House and into the hands of women themselves. No legislation is set in stone, and everybody who voted on this knows that. Also, baked into that was a review. All of the other things you're talking about that people voted on, we also voted on the fact that there would be a review. It took 5 years for that review to happen. A lot of people suffered in those 5 years. Then we finally got the review. The recommendations were clear. The criminalisation of doctors, cases of fatal fetal abnormalities, and the 3-day mandatory waiting period all needed to go. You've had 3 years to act on that and you haven't. I agree with you that a lot of people who voted yes to repeal voted yes because of women who needed terminations for medical reasons, and they are still forced to travel